What is up, everybody? It is Jake back with the MF Film Room. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things EA College Football, hit that red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. I'm telling you right now, I might not be first with the releases. Okay, we got our boy Matt Brown out there. We got a couple of people else. But I'm going to be the most in-depth. I guarantee it. We're talking all things EA College Football all day. If you like my content, also follow me on Twitter/X. I'm pretty active there compared to my Instagram. In addition to, if you like college football content, Master Football with Jake Posey, that is linked in the description. But for right now, EA College Football content only. Let's go. All right, guys, here we are. We are only a couple days away before the year of EA College Football returning to our world. It's going to be 11 years since it released. I am so grateful for that to happen. With all of that, I wanted to make sure we discussed what Matt Brown talked about most recently in his newsletter, where he basically said that he's like, all right, guys, here's the deal. We're going to see not only customization is going to be a big part of it, we're also going to see user-generated content. The person I'm talking to today is my best friend and roommate and fellow EA College Football / NCAA Football psychopath. We are absolutely obsessed with the game. We literally have a dynasty we're going on right now. His name's Cal. He's a little nervous here, but I want you guys to check something out. We're going to have the video is first going to talk about kind of his introduction. Then we're going to talk about the content, user-generated. And at the very end, there's going to be some outtakes because there were quite a lot of them. But anyways, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into that content. What's up, guys? This is Jake here, Master Football, talking with my boy, my best friend in the entire world, and also a fellow EA CFB sicko, my best friend, Cal. Cal, how's it going, man?
Going good.
It's going good, dude. Yeah. I'll let you guys know. This is the first time. Everybody take it easy on him, okay? He's got some, he's just, this first time he's on camera, okay? Hard worker, got a lot of good ideas. Just got to get him out of him. I sent him 3 questions. I got 3 questions. In addition to, I got the content that we're going to talk about at the end of this. So first 2 questions, a little bit of intro. Third question, we're going to get into the specifics of what we want to talk about. Cal, let's get going. What's your EA College Football, NCAA Football origin story? Start wherever you want. What's your first memories? How does that go?
Well, first, it's your fault. You and your brother. You guys converted me. You got me into it. And I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah. God, it had to be 2010? Something like that?
Yeah, it was probably NCAA 11 maybe is
yeah.
when I started.
Yeah, because it was when you were still in
12,
Oregon.
13, 14, I think, is when I really got into it.
Yeah. So I got to turn off my teams, guys. But yeah, NCAA 13, definitely when you were in Oregon. And we had a dynasty, and it was online. And the fun thing was we had, what do we have? You had a couple of your roommates. You had Tim, and you had
Tim and
Ricky. You had Tim and Ricky. Yeah, I was dropping last names of people over here. You got Tim and Ricky, okay? So I'm going to put my hand up on the Tim and Ricky. Got to make sure I edit this part of the video. Okay, Tim and Ricky. All right, so yeah, Tim and Ricky, and I had my brother and a couple other people there too. So, yeah. I mean, we had Tim and our dear friend Tim. He was that kind of guy where, okay, you guys get the comments. How many people do you guys know have 4 plays on offense? Okay,
toss right, toss left, screen right.
4 verts, throw it to the
slot.
Only the slot ever. You get 4 plays. You get 4 plays ever. So our dear friend Ricky, you know that Peyton Manning stomp, like, all right, it's it, hut, and then he would snap the ball. Well, we told Ricky that one time, and he was like, huh. So whenever he played, he would always lead the nation in sacks because he would wait till that foot hit up, boom, it would hit, boom, he would rush the passer, and we would be like, how is Ricky so good? He'd have like 28 sacks in a season. There was his nemesis. Who is his nemesis?
The service academies.
The service academies.
Georgia Tech.
So the service academies. So it was weird. We would like, oh yeah, you got to play. You got a really easy schedule. You got to play in the ACC, and then you got.
You've got 70 overall Army and 70 overall Air Force.
And he would go 0-3. Like it was clockwork. He was the best against shotgun teams and the worst against non-shotgun teams. That was the worst out there. But back in the day, I mean, who are you guys you created? What was the guys again? Receiver first.
So my receiver. So we used to create our teams, then we'd all say, all right, you could create one player.
Yeah.
And there was rules behind it. Like if he was a sophomore, he was allowed to be like 80 overall or something. A junior was 85 overall. But I had a receiver, Giles Miles.
Giles Miles, baby.
He was the man.
That was the nasty. Yeah, Cal was.
He was the one guy I threw it to. He was the man.
He was nasty. And the thing about Cal was always like he was always he was an analytics guy. He was a manalytics guy. If you gave him a star player, he'd be good. One time you got to recruit your boy Shannon Cody. The ultimate. If you give this guy like a dynamic quarterback, we're going to have a dynasty coming up.
He changed my entire career.
He did. Because he
Shannon Cody changed my entire play style for the whole game. It was crazy.
No,
Run,
it was
throw.
But anyways, we have since gotten to the point to where every year the game came out, we were doing it. You know, we have been so excited about this game coming out. We have 2 screens next to each other. We have Xbox 360, Xbox 360. We are sickos. We just want to let you guys know all that kind of stuff. So that's the first question here. Second question. What excites you most about EA College Football? Now, because I'll let you guys know, we've had some video games. We're big-time gamers, him and I. We've been a little pessimistic as of late. Delay on this game. Delay on that game. Delay on this game. We saw that lawsuit. The Brander Group, the game's not going to come out. Brander Group drops the lawsuit. Yeah. Game gets delayed a year. We would have had it already, but now they're like, nope, it's coming out.
And it should be fine-tuned. It should be ready to go.
As ready to go as it can be. What are you most excited about with the game?
Right now, we don't know enough about it, so the possibilities.
Dude.
There's so much about college football that has changed from NCAA 14 to now. So it's like, there's so much cool stuff they can do.
I know.
It's going to be amazing.
Of course, I'll let you guys know. I'm really, really excited about RPOs in the game. He is too, right?
Yeah.
He hates RPOs. No, but anyways, but there's so many cool things about the game. I mean, from my perspective, I'll make a video, I'm sure, about that. It'll be like what I'm all excited about. I do know that, again, everybody out there is saying, like, when are we going to get a leak? When are we going to get a leak? And I know that Matt Brown's going to have it first. I don't have I don't have freedom of information requests from universities. I'm not going to have all that kind of stuff. But any sort of analysis, I'll be that guy. So, really excited about the game. What we wanted to do is make sure that this video, though, was specific to user-generated content.
Yeah.
So, user-generated content. Break down a little bit from your 10,000-foot view, kind of what that means to you.
So that's just what the players want to have in the game, is the way I think of it. And okay, user-generated content is what I think that the players want in the game and want to share with other players.
Of course.
So rosters, that's going to be in it.
Okay.
That's going to be, people are going to make their rosters that everyone can download.
So with that, and I want to make sure that I expand on that point a little bit there. The cool thing about having the rosters in there like that is a lot of people were worried, like, oh yeah, well, EA's just going to go nice and evil again. They're just going to come out. They're going to make a game. They're going to just reskin it every year. You get a roster update every year. If they're actually giving the users the ability to do that, then they know. They're literally, the creators of the game understand that if they don't bring it with modifications, new features, this and that, new customizations, new downloadable content, new DLC content, things like that, if they don't bring new things, then this community will completely void out.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be, oh, yeah, we got the new roster. And this community will be like, we got the new roster. So you're gonna have, so that actually puts, if they actually include that in the game, and again, because right now, all we know, I want to make sure I actually read this. We got a little bit ahead of ourselves right now. But I wanted to make sure I could read Matt Brown's quote from his newsletter that he had. And he says, the single question I'm asked the most about more than anything else italicized, he says, is about team builder and blah, blah, blah. He says, an EA employee did confirm, this is confirmed, customization will be an aspect of EA Sports College Football when it launches in summer 2024. We'll have more details to share in the near future. Now, again, we all know our job is to break down what that is. An aspect. Small, big, medium, some things we like, some things we don't. I don't know. Also confirmed, other sources have told me, and what this video is mainly about, we've already started into on, is that the current plan for the game is to include some components for user-generated content. Now, typically, like you said, first thing happens, rosters. Rosters is number one. And again, if they include the rosters, that is because there's a couple, I actually have my little question thing, or my little notepad here on what they could include. So first one, again, for me too, first one's rosters. It's literally number one. It was user-generated before, and it's user-generated probably in the future. There is another one that I'm hoping for. It will be some aspect in part of the game, an aspect, whatever it is. What is the only other user-generated thing you could do in NCAA 2014? What was it?
Team Builder.
There you go.
Yeah.
Team Builder. It was the only one. So Team Builder was...
You could create teams and then anyone can download them. All they do is find your profile, and anyone can find your teams.
Anybody could download your team, and what the game would always have like the warning, kind of like warning. We don't know if this is going to be like expletive first name, expletive last name, downloaded, or it's going to be like an offensive team name or something like that. We didn't know that. So again, it has that capability, and I think for a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are worried about EA college football because they're like, well, EA's too, I don't know, EA's too, what's the term I want to use here? Too cautious. Meaning, as an example, you cannot make custom team names in some of the Madden games. I think Madden, you can create a team, or you want to move your franchise and then rename them. You can't name them anything you want to. Like you have to take the certain pre-approved team names that they want, because the NFL doesn't want you to like make we're going to make the Redskins.
Right, yeah.
We don't want it to be right. We actually don't want that name to be around.
We wanted it to be in the game.
So a lot of people worry about with college football. Is that also going to happen? I want to make sure this is agreed. So the NFLPA and the owners, those are the two groups that they have to get the signatures between the, those two parties in order to provide the game, provide those aspects in the game. For this, it's CLC, Collegiate Licensing Company. You sign them, you get 120 teams instantly right there in the game. A couple of the other teams you have to do it individually. I thought it was like USC, Miami, and Clemson. Some of those individual teams. Notre Dame was one of them. But as long as those 120 mostly agree, the rest of the other teams, if they don't agree, they're not in the game. You know what I'm saying? So right. They're like, yeah, so team builder's in the game. Notre Dame, we don't want team builder, because then you guys are going to make like with South Bend, Indiana, and they're going to make South Bend, Indiana high and beat us. We don't want to do that. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't agree, 120 other teams already have agreed. If you don't, you're not in the game. And then Notre Dame will be like, all right, fine. I can find one in the game. So again, I think that's one aspect. Again, it could potentially be to where team builder's not in the game, but I'm just saying, I think that more than likely those two things were already in the game. I know they mentioned that 0% of the code was brought over, so we'll see what that means, but I do understand that it's still going to be, again, the number one, number two, rosters, team builder teams. I had a couple smaller ones. I want to discuss the smaller ones first, because the bigger ones are going to be cooler on later. So the first one would be like signs and posters. That's a user-generated thing.
Yeah.
As an example.
Custom fans.
Signs and posters, little things like that. I had like, I don't know how good this would be, but like maybe like a user-generated fight song. Now, the problem with that is what's the term I want to use here? Is trademark material, copyrighted material.
Yeah.
That could be an issue.
Yeah.
But if they had like I don't know, this would be wild and out there, but what if they had like, not team builder, but song builder?
Song builder. Bust out your old rock band stuff.
Absolutely.
Your song.
Song builder. Come on. No, song builder. Okay, but there's a couple other ones here that I think that we had. So another smaller one that I think people would really like. We've already kind of done this community, the EA college football and college football revamp community are already pretty good at this, but what about settings and difficulties?
Oh, yeah. Download a chunk of settings because we customize our dynasties.
We completely customize it. And we're not the only ones.
And we change from like season to season just to make it harder and harder and harder. And
just to keep it spiced up. Because nothing's, the thing about college football is that in college football, the rich get richer. So once you start recruiting well, it's over. Like there's only, then it's basically, I'll say this, it's like that, but the PvP games in the years leading up to like your national championship runs, those are so epic. Those are so epic. And unfortunately, that last game, even if you wanted to, you could only fit 12 teams on the. I'm hoping that this game is going to be 134 teams.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's going to be, because if it's 134 teams, 134 users, then it's like you could pick any team you wanted to, and then you have to just kind of sort yourself from there. But yeah, I think that is one that I think that because there's a certain aspect of, if you adjust the penalties, and I didn't know this about the other game, but if you adjust the penalties, people will actually play differently. They'll actually interact differently. Not just they'll call the penalty more often. It will change the AI. How it does, I don't know. Okay, so what do we have? So we had rosters, team builders, signs, posters. Okay, that's a good one. We're going to talk about that one a little bit later. Fight songs, we already had that. Settings. Another one that is potential that would be awesome. Rivalries and trophies.
That would be amazing.
That would be incredible.
That would be so cool.
That would be incredible for user-generated rivalries. And actually, the bigger one is custom trophies, custom rivalries, kind of connected with those two. Unfortunately, in the last game, here's the bad thing: you get a team builder team. You get a team builder team, NCAA 2014. You're like, okay, cool. Which team am I going to replace? All right, I'm in Florida, and I'm going to replace Idaho because they're not even an FBS team anymore. Okay, my rivalries are Washington State. I'm in Florida, and it's like the game didn't have the AI for that.
Right.
So now the next game, it's like, well, hopefully you can figure that out. Hopefully it's like, or you could say, okay, this team's rivalry, my boys, the South University Crusaders, I made them NCAA 2004 with Carson Palmer on the cover. Carson Palmer, before he went to the NFL and a decade after he left. I don't know if it was a decade after he left, but I know that he's been gone for a while. But that's the first. I made the South University Crusaders. I made them. My brother made the North University Conquerors. He's a little copycat. But and then my boy over here made the Spokane State Monsoon, which actually that's a cool.
Hey, wherever we go, bring the monsoon with us.
Basically, that's just cheesy because whenever there would be a glitch, and basically every game would be a rain game.
Every game.
Just rain every game. So we
leaned into it.
Leaned into it. So with that, if we go into the like that, then it could be like, I could be South University. You could make Spokane State, and we could make the Crusaders, and then Hurricanes. We could make the Coast to Coast Bowl or something, or the Coast to Coast Trophy, whatever. Like, again, that's user generated content, but I mean, I don't know if that would be the only thing about that though. Is that a team builder aspect, or is that going to be something you could just download for anybody? I just don't know the answer to that question. I think it'd be cool, but like, again, right now these are hypotheticals, and I'm like, how cool would it be to actually, like, I want somebody else's rivalry. I want somebody else's trophy. I don't really know how.
Because a lot of that team builder stuff anyway is very specific.
Yeah.
A lot of them will be like inside jokes or inside stories.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really.
So it might be tough.
I'm not really 100% sure on that one there. Okay. All right. So let's get into the good ones here. Okay. So,
good ones.
So again, we have rosters, team builders. Those are towards the top. I think signs and fight songs and settings, I think actually is a cool little.
That would be a cool one.
Settings is cool.
That you see that in threads all the time. Hey, what do you guys set your settings to? What do you guys set your? And then if you could just download someone's settings.
Yeah, I had an idea here. I don't know really how much I like it or not. I had a Road to Glory player. Like, hey, dude, here's my Road to Glory high school player. This is my Road to Glory. I just
think
don't.
People would do that.
Yeah, but
I mean, there would.
You're right. You're thinking about it, and you're like, "Well, how cool would that actually be? What would it? How much value would it get to add into the game, and how much would you get out?"
Probably not on the first iteration.
For sure, yeah. That would not
game.
Maybe you pay for it, or pay for the ability to download them. Like, not each one, but like a DLC. Like, now you can download somebody else's.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, like I don't know. But I just had that. Okay, so time for the cool ones. So. My man here has been a big help with a lot of my college football series in terms of the different features here and there. He's been a big help with the Dynasty Builder setting. So we had Team Builder, where you create one specific team. What about if you had the ability for customizing or user-generated content for a conference and or a Dynasty Builder? So as an example, right now there are 134 teams are going to be in the game. I know all the 133 this year, and they're adding Kennesaw State outside in Atlanta. So all of them are going to be in the game. Well, what if you want, there's 134, you want it to be an even number. You want it to be 150. What if you want it to be less? What if you wanted it to, this was a really cool idea this morning. What if you wanted it to be like, all right, here's the deal. There's 64 teams. 64 teams, every single person plays. There's only X amount of conferences. I don't even care. You could add and remove conferences if you want to. The last time you couldn't do that. You had to have a certain amount of members in certain conferences. So you have 64 members, let's just say 4 16-team conferences. And then you had a 64-team bracket for the playoffs. Every single team makes the playoffs, all 1 to 64.
1 through 64.
1 through 64, and you do it again. So I mean, again, that's something that you could do.
The whole season is just wherever you're going to get seeded at.
Exactly.
So that would be cool.
That would be something you could do. And again, like you said, you could have, some people want divisions. Some people don't. Some people are like, okay, set it up and just give me the stock teams and give me the certain amount of rivalries here. So to make sure that, Tennessee and Alabama play, in the same way that Alabama plays Auburn, in the same way that Auburn plays Georgia, the same way that Georgia plays South Carolina, whatever it is. And like, you have to make sure these are all set. And because somebody can edit it, somebody can't, you could also go back to like, I want to make a new conference. So it would be a custom creation of like the Big Eight. And the Big Eight was like what, Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa State, Kansas, all those teams.
Yeah.
The Southwest Conference, all the Texas schools in Arkansas, the Pac-10, and then the Pac-8, and then the Pac-12, and
now the Pac-2.
Now the Pac-2. Pour it out. I do think one thing that's really cool about this, so one small thing that we can really dive into is, and I might even make my own video about this myself, but if we think about the sheer mechanics of next year, the really, really cool thing about the Pac-2. The Pac-2 is a weird situation. For those of you who don't know, the Pac-12 had 10 people leave, and there's 2 teams that are staying. They have been given access to the resources. We don't really know what that means, but we do know that next season, Oregon State and Washington State will operate as a 2-team conference with a supplementation of Mountain West games to supplement their schedule, so they can have a 12-game schedule. So here's, first of all, the question is, I don't know, like, if Washington State beats Oregon State, are they conference champs? 1-0?
I'd say so.
I don't know.
They should bring a trophy to that game.
They should bring a trophy to that game. The Evergreen Trophy, champions for the game. No, but if we think about that, though, so the game has to build in that. So if the game was lazy, if they were lazy, they would be like, all right, Washington State, Oregon State, independent, no Pac-12 conference. If they're flexible with it, they're going to be, all right, Pac-2. So that means that if they make it so that, okay, the Pac-12 conference is just Pac-2, I don't know, I just have a hard time calling it Pac-12 Pac-2. But anyways, the Pac conference only has 2 members. Does that mean if I wanted to gut the SEC and I got it down to 2 members, that's okay too? I don't know, because that functionality might be in the game. So what I'm saying is do we want to make it to where you can add and remove conferences? Because some fans are going to be like, why the hell is the Pac in there with 2 teams? Move them and get rid of the conference. Other people
should be able to do.
Other people might be like, no, keep it in there. It's kind of a fielder's choice. We don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking that the game and the creators of the game have to build something like that into it. How they do it, I don't know, but I do know that that's something that, again, it's the terrible quality, really good quality. If they do nothing, it's just going to be independent teams.
Yep.
If they have you can have a minimum amount of conferences. You can create conferences. You can create conferences and their custom rules. Whatever it is, again, that's the level of like terrible to good. But even if they're terrible, they're independents. So we know that for sure. But going on to that, so we've got rosters, team builder teams, science posters, conferences. All right, here's another one here. Not only ability to create conferences, but also I think one that would be really cool that I know that unfortunately for anybody who played NCAA football, if you played a PvP game with a custom playbook, it would just freeze. Offense or defense? I actually think defenses were okay, but we outlawed them because it's like, just... So we're doing it right now because if you have a custom playbook and I have a custom playbook and we play, at some point it will freeze. It just will freeze. So what if user-generated content, you can kind of make this playbook, make that playbook, make that. I think that a lot of people would appreciate that because the way that the game works is that you notice that you'll get your play, you get your formation, and then you'll have your like check to a pass, check to a run, check to a deep pass, check to a play action pass. And they check to a play action pass, and you're like, that's the dumbest play action pass ever.
That's the worst one.
Why would you use that play action pass? But what if you could go in and download somebody else who's like, I got you. Stick with these 4 plays, call this play, stick this, stick with this kind of a frame with it and whatever. So on the game, you also with Madden now, you can preload like my 3rd down and long plays. You can just load them in there.
Yeah.
So again, the problem is they'll be like 3rd down and long. Bubble screens. Be like, thanks, dude. Sick. Really appreciate it. 3rd and 12. Yeah, just throw it out there. So again, I think that users will. It's almost like I feel like for this game, I feel like the creators of the game need to create a husk, a skeleton that they can work with, and then the meat will be filled in by the community. This is different than Madden.
Yeah.
Where Madden is, it's obviously, it makes a lot more money. Again, we know that this game's going to make a lot more money than Madden. But this game, like, the amount of users, like, first of all, like, we can't download the 2020 rosters on NCAA 2014 because people take Idaho and they substitute the name for, like,
they make it like App State.
That is an EA college football revamp thing where what they would do is they would just like, people actually were good enough with the code. You could just get a modded Xbox and you could actually just make it. Now, whether or not it actually looked like it or not, I don't know. But I do know that that is one thing that I am hoping that they have. I also know that, as an example, if you have Team Builder, one thing that they didn't have that they should, and they have to get okay from the people they work with, is it should be like, I want these jerseys by Nike, Riddell, Reebok.
Who's your school sponsor?
I want Jordan. I want, whatever it is. And I don't really know, but I know that, like, that's another example too with certain things there. But with that, user-generated content, what are your final thoughts? What are you thinking?
We talk about playbooks.
Playbooks. Teams, rosters, fans, signs, Road to Glory. Yeah. But I think going back to that, so we went through all those things. User-generated content. Some and an aspect. There's two very important words we have to hold into with that. So, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, Team Builder's not going to be in the game. And I'm like, if Team Builder's not in the game, like, or at least
suck.
It would be such a drain.
Suck. That's just such a part of the culture of NCAA 14.
Absolutely. Even now, like, we can't download Team Builder teams, but we can't download Team Builder teams off of their servers.
Yes.
The great thing about this community is that there's plenty of psychopaths out there with their own servers, and they figure all that out. But no, anyways, so enough about the user-generated content. We've got an aspect of it. We're going to keep on going with this stuff. Cal, me, see you guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Please, remember, like, share, comment, subscribe. And without further ado, some of those outtakes we had. Ow, now, brown cow. Ow, now, brown cow.
All right, it. Let's do it. Do it live.
Keep that in the video. Oh, yeah. You don't want to use this in the video, right? I'm totally going to add this in the video. Oh, my God, this is awesome. See? Gotta go. Let's go. We're fine. We're good. Our friend Ricky, his roommate. So basically, the way it was is that that Peyton Manning, like, stomp. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's crazy.
No. I'm going to edit this part out, though. Okay.
That is... I just drew a blank. Hold on. Edit that part out.
It's okay. No. Hey, don't worry. It's fine. But within here, it also mentions the fact that everybody I've talked to has stressed that it's too early to... Actually, I need to cut that out. Cut that out. I read the wrong part.
Gosh. Because then, yeah, users have rivalries and that... well, all right. Hold on, scratch that. Raise the roof.
Raise the roof. No, I can cut it. It's fine.
I don't know what else to say about it. See, now I'm drawing a blank.
That's okay, because I can just cut all this.
I know.
I can just cut all this because we're at 27 minutes, right?
That's crazy.
That's what I've been saying to you, dude. We're 27. We're almost at a half an hour. You were so nervous. It's like, just talk.
I'm still nervous.
Just talk. It's fine. No, dude, it's fine.